What if I told you the very strengths that you take pride in could be the reason you're stuck? What if what makes you great could also be the very thing limiting your potential? Have you ever met someone whose confidence made them blind to feedback? Or someone whose perfectionism kept them from ever finishing anything? It's a paradox. Our strengths, when overused or misapplied, can become our greatest obstacles. Let's talk about Thomas Edison and Michael Jordan. You say, what they got to do with each other? Be easy, you'll find out. We all know Thomas Edison, the famous inventor of the light bulb. There was some controversy around him. He invented it, he didn't invent it, whatever. He was a genius, a relentless innovator, and one of the greatest minds in history. He is known for saying, "I have not failed, I just found 10,000 ways that don't work." And that's a quote that has been used in motivational circles for years. But what most don't talk about is the fact that his greatest strength, his persistence, also became his limitation. Edison was obsessed with direct current electricity. He believed it to be the superior method to powering homes and cities. But Nikola Tesla introduced alternating current, which proved to be far more efficient for long-distance energy transmission. Edison refused to accept this. In fact, his stubborn persistence led to him conducting smear campaigns against AC. Oh, you thought haters were just now invented? Haters go back to Jesus, just so you know. Haters been hating a long time. Edison even went as far as staging public demonstrations where he electrocuted animals to paint alternating current as dangerous. What happened? The world moved forward without him. AC, alternating current, won out, while Edison's refusal to adapt left him sidelined in one of the greatest technological revolutions. So as you see, strengths are powerful, but when we rely on them too much, refusing to adapt or be flexible, they can turn into blind spots. What about Jordan? Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. LeBron's great too. Michael's the GOAT. His strength was his unmatched desire to win. But early in his career, that very same drive made him over-reliant on his individual talent. He would take over games, often refusing to trust his teammates and get them involved. One pivotal moment came in the late 80s when the Chicago Bulls, despite his incredible performances, kept falling short in the playoffs. Then came the shift. Under coach Phil Jackson's guidance, Jordan learned to trust his teammates. Scottie Pippen became the right-hand man, and there are highlights of him passing the ball to John Paxson or Steve Kerr to make the crucial game-winning shot. And ultimately, when Jordan became flexible in his strengths, the Bulls became one of the greatest franchises in history. By leaning into teamwork rather than just raw talent, Michael Jordan left with 6 championships. His story shows that our greatest strengths must evolve. If we don't adapt, we limit not just ourselves, but we limit those around us. So why does this happen? Why do our strengths sometimes hold us back? Psychology provides some answers. First, there's confirmation bias. We favor information that supports our existing beliefs and ignore evidence to the contrary. Edison believed DC was superior, so he rejected AC, even when the evidence showed otherwise. Psychology also talks about the Dunning-Kruger effect. Sometimes people with strong abilities overestimate their competence, making them blind to improvement areas. The last one is cognitive rigidity. This states that the more we succeed using our strengths, the harder it is for us to see downsides. Understanding these 3 psychological traps is crucial if we're going to break free from them. There's this law called the Law of Polarity. And the Law of Polarity simply says that there's 2 sides to every coin. So let's categorize how something can become a strength on one end and a limitation on the other. First up, intellectual strengths. This is referring to intelligence and creativity. People that are intelligent and have creativity, that's positive on one end, but a possible limitation is it can lead to arrogance or an inability to take feedback. You think you know everything, you're so smart. Emotional strengths. This is talking like empathy and compassion. On one end, empathy and compassion is great. On the other end, it can lead to burnout and being taken advantage of. Let's do one more. Relational strengths. Charisma, leadership. On one end, people love those that are charismatic. People respect those that are in leadership for the most part. However, a limitation for those that are charismatic and for those that are leaders is those strengths can lead to overconfidence or manipulation. The key here is balance, because the law of polarity says there's two sides to everything. I want you to remember this. Your strengths are tools, not rules. Your strengths, their giftings are tools that are here to serve other people. They are what make you uniquely you. However, if you are rigid, if you are set in your ways, if you use your strength as the rule instead of the tool, you're doing a disservice to yourself and everyone else around you. So how can you find out if your strengths are holding you back? There are a few methods out there. One is personality assessments. Strengths finders, Myers-Briggs. These assessments can give you insights into dominant strengths that you have. There's also the method of the 360-degree feedback, where you ask colleagues, mentors, friends, spouses, partners for honest feedback. But the best way to assess whether your strengths are being used as a tool or a rule is through self-reflection. Look for recurring struggles in your life. Are there certain patterns that are repeating over and over and over again? I remember when I got into management for the first time. When I was new in management, I prided myself on independence. And if you didn't do it, move over, I'll just do it myself. I don't need you. I believed that relying on others was a sign of weakness, and I just took pride in handling everything on my own. I did not delegate. I didn't hold anyone accountable. I just tried to do every little thing myself, because at the end of the day, I've got me. And it served me at the hourly position, but once I got into leadership, I micromanaged, resisted delegation, and eventually burned myself out. I remember being in my store alone, cleaning it, because there was a regional manager that was coming in the next day. I was in that store by myself and did not sleep because of how much I had to get done just to make sure it was perfect. And by me trying to do it all myself, I missed a lot of things. And the regional came in and tore the store that I had worked so hard to make sure it was right. He tore it up. After it was over, my boss looked at me and said, "Hey man, what happened?" I said, "I don't know. I was in here till 4, 5, 6 a.m. I didn't even go to bed last night." He said, "Where was your staff? Where are the systems that you have in place that prevent you from not sleeping the night before you have a regional visit?" And it was that day that I realized that my persistent and confident personality actually was my downfall. And by refusing to delegate, I not only hurt myself, but I stagnated my team. That was the day I learned that as leaders, you gain power by giving it away. You gain power by empowering others. And my life has never been the same again. So what about you? What strength might be holding you back? Perfectionism? Everything having to be perfect before you even get started? The good news is if we are aware of the possible limitation of our strengths, we can flip them into opportunities. So remember, your strength is a tool. It is not the rule. Adaptability is key. Balance strengths with their opposites. You're a perfectionist, you also need to embrace efficiency. You're a confident leader, you also need to embrace humility. And on your journey, actively seek out feedback. Because the thing about a blind spot is it's hard for you to see it yourself. Growth requires external input. If you truly want to maximize your potential in an area, here's what you do. Number one, commit to continuous learning. Never assume that you've mastered it all. Get around someone who makes you feel like you still have so much to learn, and not in a way that you're beating yourself up, but in a way that you are excited for the possibilities that are in front of you. Number 2, surround yourself with diverse perspectives. Engage with those who challenge you. And if all your friends look like you, talk like you, act like you, it's time to diversify. Because different backgrounds bring different experiences, and different experiences offer different perspectives. Next, seek mentorship. Where you sit in life determines what you can see in life. So make it a point to find those who can see what you can't. At the end of the day, self-awareness is our greatest asset. Your strength isn't the problem. Your unwillingness to adapt is. And it is our goal as we evolve on our journey through life to continuously assess, continuously refine, and continuously evolve. I challenge you to identify one strength that has been holding you back and ask yourself, where has this strength become a limitation? How can I adjust it to work for me and not against me? Who can I ask for feedback knowing that where you sit is what you see? Then take one small action today to break free from that limitation. Growth isn't about abandoning your strengths. It's about using them wisely. If you enjoyed that, share it with someone else who you think it'll serve. And hey, you, if this is your first time watching me, don't just sit there. Join the mission. Hit that subscribe button and let's grow together. Always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you. And I'll see you on the next one.